seated. Roll call of members, please.
Mr. Jeter, District 1.
Here.
Mr. Tipton, District 2.
Here.
Mr. Herron, District 3.
Here.
Mr. Bricky, District 4. Mr. Mann, District 5.
Here.
Ms. Hood, District 6.
Here.
Ms. Kruby at large.
Here.
All right, thank you, ma'am. We do have a quorum. Ms. Kruby needs to leave at about 20 after 9, so if we get through the parts of this, she needs to go, so that's okay too. That happens. Approval of the agenda. If you had a chance to look at it, hope you have. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented to you?
So moved.
All right, Mr. Jeter made a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Ms. Hood, second. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Next item is approve the minutes, and we will go through this probably separately because some was here, some was not. Was everybody here for all those?
I missed the last one, Danny.
Last, okay. All right, we'll go ahead and do the one May the 5th. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes from our regular meeting on May the 5th? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a
motion, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Tipton made a motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Kruby second. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. All right, the budget workshop, same. Need a motion.
So moved.
Darrell made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Herron second. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. The budget workshop on May the 12th. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Mr. Tipton made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Jeter second. All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. May the 19th, budget workshop.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Mr. Tipton made a motion. Do we have a second?
So moved, Mr.
All
Chairman.
right. Ms. Kruby,
Second.
Second. Okay. All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye.
I abstain.
Any opposed? Darrell, abstain on that. Next item is citizen expression period. Put my specs on so I can read this little statement. Citizen expression period is upon the meeting when anyone who wishes to address the board or staff may do so. If you wish to speak, please come to the podium, state your name, where you're from in the county, and or what organization you represent. The board may or may not respond to anything you say, but we will take everything you say into account when making future decisions. Please keep your comments concise and business-like. If no one has signed up to speak, we have no particular order. We just ask that you take turns and speak your business. Any action will be considered after we close citizen expression. With that, citizen expression period is over. Okay. No one wishing to speak. All right, we are out of citizen expression period. Don't have anything to vote on or even talk about. Next item is a public hearing and possible adoption of an ordinance to amend and reenact the real estate tax exemption ordinances for elderly and disabled persons to reflect the changes in Section 5, the amount of total combined income and total combined financial work, and in Section 10, the amount of the exemption. You have it up in front of you, Frank.
I believe it's, her request is to change from $175 to $200.
That's what I remember too. I want to make sure I had it right on that. So. And it's going to cost the county about $28,000. I think we said is what it would be cost, but the people it's going to help, I think, it is well worth it. So with that, we'll go into this public hearing. And anyone here wish to speak during this public hearing? No one to speak. We'll come out of the public hearing. Any comments here from the board? We'll make it through this meeting step by 9:20.
We might be able to.
All right. Okay. Well, everybody on the board knows what it is, and it's going to help the handicapped and the elderly. So it's just that much would be an exemption from them, but they would have to pay that. So this ordinance will go into effect. Does it go into effect July 1st? Is that when the effective date it would be? The next tax season.
It's for this tax season.
Okay. All right. Do we need a motion or discuss it? What y'all want to do? If you
I'll make a motion,
motion.
Mr. Chairman, we pass this
Okay.
ordinance.
Mr. Tipton made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Kruby second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Frank, how's that for quickness?
I appreciate y'all setting this up just for me.
Yeah, Mr. Campbell's here from Little Wisco, and I've known him for a long time. He does well. We're blessed to have him. Right? We really are on that work for them, and he keeps us well informed. So, anyway,
I
Spotlight's on you.
I appreciate those kind words, Mr. Chairman. I am Frank Kibler, of the Wisco Planning District Commission. I will endeavor to be brief. We have been working with a national hazard mitigation consultant for the past year or so in the update of our district-wide hazard mitigation plan. That's been recently completed. It's been approved by the Virginia Department of Emergency Management. It's been approved by FEMA. And now at this point we are securing adoption by those localities that participated in the planning process. Some of our towns didn't, all of our counties, our city did, several of our towns did. But as I said, I was making the rounds with, what I'm doing right now, I'm doing about 10 more times. So anyway, I apologize for not having each of you a full copy, printed out copy of the plan. It's about 650 pages in total. Half of those are color. I'd get fired if I printed out that many copies. So I do have there. It was in two parts. The second part was what they call jurisdiction annexes. Here's Scott County's 48 pages. So I did. I'll give your county administrator that if you want to at least glance through that paper copy. But I also provided the link where you can to both parts of the document. You can take a look at it at your leisure. But again, appreciate the county's input in that process. County personnel did take part in several Zoom. Everything was done remotely, which is not really the way I like to do it. I like to see people and shake hands and
Right.
talk and all this other kind of stuff. But I particularly commend the consultant for the work they've managed to do in this environment that we've been dealing with the last year plus. But again, county personnel did take part in all these various things, which did qualify the county as a participating municipality, which, short version, I've already rambled more than I meant to, Mr. Chairman. Sorry about that. Dating back to the inception of this planning process back in 2000, what this does, it enables participating localities, it makes them eligible for certain pots of money, certain grant dollars for mitigation projects, that sort of thing. Scott County has been a participating locality throughout. This is our third iteration of this plan, and so again, I appreciate the county's involvement in getting this plan updated. And so really, what will finalize your participation is adopting this plan, this district-wide plan, and there's a resolution to that effect. And that's what I'm here asking from you today is the adoption of this resolution that's been provided to you for that purpose.
All right, any questions or comments for Frank? All right. I'm going to read the last part of the resolution. I don't think you have it, but it says, be it further resolved that the Scott County Board of Supervisors, to meet local requirements under Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000 as amended, does hereby approve and adopt the 2021 update to the Leno Wisco Hazard Mitigation Plan. That's just the bottom part of it, summarizing what the resolution, what it does. So anyway, I do recommend this to the full board that we approve this. Any questions for Mr. Campbell? All right.
Thank you very much.
Get out here by 8:45, you never thought of it, would you? All right. I bet you had a whole day planned to be here. All right, the resolution, I hope you had a chance to look at it. It's something we have to do and we need to do. So we need a motion to approve this resolution as presented to you.
I'll make a motion,
All right.
Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Hood made the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Herron, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next item is item 9, the enterprise zone incentive, and I hope you had a chance to look at that. And this is something that part of the enterprise zone that we encourage industry to be a part of it, and it helps them. It's an incentive for them to invest more into Scott County. It's quite a bit of money we write a check back to them. Can we do it all, Sally, as one? Do we have to separate out with different companies?
What do you think? I think you've done it all together before.
And if we've ever done two companies at once or not, we have. Okay. Was three of them, Temper, Sealy, VFP, and Photogenius, and it's,
You can do them separate if you want to. I mean, I don't think it really matters.
okay. Well, the total amount is $74,221.99, and but we can do them separately if you want to. But I hope you had a chance to look at it, see what it is, and you know, and how it works. Basically, it tells you there in that document we have from the Treasurer's Office. Let's do Temper Sealy first. The amount is $36,296.36. Do we have a motion on these incentives to pay back to Temper Sealy? Do we have a motion to do that?
I make the motion, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Ms. Hood made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Mr. Jeter, second. All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. The next one is VFP in the amount of $36,256.19. Do we have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Mr. Tippett made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Kruby, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next is Photogenius in the amount of $1,669.44. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
All right, Mr. Hare made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Jeter, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So, moving right along. Next item is item 10. Mr. Dings is here for the Virginia Department of Conservation and Recreation Trail Access Grant. So, Mr. Dings, if you would.
There's a grant opportunity to address some concerns at Keith Memorial Park. If you look at the screen behind you, in the section from where the concession stand is, going down this stretch here to the Little League ball field is the point of concern. That's part of the 1 mile loop trail that goes on around, weaves through the woods and comes out on the other end of the park. But some problems that I've heard from being at ball games and from people there is that they can't get to the Little League field because of and like if you have a wheelchair, especially one of the heavier automatic wheelchairs, I don't know what they call them, because the ground's rough, it's gravelly, grass patches and things like that. So I started looking at the recreational trails grant that DCR administers every year. That's federal highway money. In doing so, I noticed that this year they have put money into a trail access grant. And I'll read what DCR says about it. Trail Access Grant Program is a 100% reimbursable program being offered in 2021 for trail projects that increase access to trail opportunities for people with disabilities. Funding for the program comes from Virginia taxpayer donations of all portions of their income tax returns to the Open Space Conservation Recreation Fund. Approximately $128,000 is available for grant opportunities. So it's a good fit. I called DCR, gave them a little synopsis of our idea here, the project, and they said it's a fit. And so we can apply for the recreational trails grant and this grant at the same time, but you can only get one of them. The recreational trails grant is federal highway money, and there's a lot more hoops to jump through than applying for this one. So what I'd like to do is apply for this Trails Access Grant that's state this year. If we get it, great. If we don't, we'll apply next year for the Recreational Trails Grant. The fix is what we're wanting to do is make a paved lane that's 6 foot wide from up at the concession stand back past the entrance to the Little League field. 3 things this would do. One, it would provide handicap and disabled access along down that trail to the Little League field. Second thing it would do is provide a flat walking surface for people to walk back and forth that can't, for people that can't transverse the entire trail. And it would provide a spot for youth, bicyclers, and skaters to go back and forth in that area, which both of those activities are happening now. People are walking the flat areas and the kids are riding bicycles, but it's along the road that comes into Keep Memorial Park, and they're weaving in and out of vehicle traffic. And if you're there during a ball game day or something going on in the park, it's a pretty busy road. And you see, kids weaving in and out of cars. So that's would be two additional benefits of having this section hard surfaced. A couple of statistics that found out while looking up some of the answers to the questions they asked. One was about the population of Scott County. Over 21,566 persons, 24.9% is 65 years of age or older. So there's a huge population that something like this would help. And person with disabilities under the age of 65 is 22.8%. So there's a good number of people in the county that a project like this would benefit. I do have a letter of support from Nicholsville Town and the Park Nicholsville Recreation Association met Monday, and they approved or are on board with the project. The award amount can be from $20,000 to $50,000. Best estimate is I'm looking at around $35,000 to do this. So that'd be the grant I would apply for, is a $35,000 100% grant, no match required.
So we need to approve the grant process, is what you're asking us to do, is that?
I think that just permission to apply for the grant.
Right. All right. I mean, it's a good project, and I hope it gets funded, so we'll see no reason why we shouldn't do it. Anything for Mr. Davis?
No, good presentation. Good that you put that work into it and looked that up, and we have these options available to us.
Thanks, sir.
If you get a chance to go by up there and look at that park, I mean, it is as well kept as any park in the state. I mean, they really do a good job. Got a lot of volunteers, a lot of Scott service people work there and keeping it up, but they really do a good job keeping that park looking good. And the volunteer saves the county a lot of money too, what they do there. All right, need a motion to allow this process to happen, and Mr. Dingus can apply to do DCR, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, to get this
I'll
grant
make
up.
the motion, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Ms. Hood made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Herron, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item 11 is the tax resolution. It's on personal property tax relief act, and what it does, it's personal use vehicles valued at $1,000 or less would be 100% for tax relief. Personal use vehicles valued at $1,001 to $20,000 will be able for 34% tax relief. Personal use vehicles valued at $20,001 or more shall only receive 34% tax relief on the first $20,000 of value. All other vehicles which do not meet the definition of qualifying, which business use vehicles, farm use vehicles, motorhomes, etc., will not be eligible for any form of tax relief under this program. So this is something we do this every year, don't we?
Yes.
It's the same thing we do every year, so it's nothing new. Anyway, it's a resolution. It's in front of you there. You get a chance to look at it. And so anyway, we need a motion to approve this this tax relief resolution.
So moved, Daddy.
All right. Mr. Judy made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Herron, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Next item is item 12. This is on the election waiver resolution, and I think we have someone here maybe want to talk about that, I'm not sure, but anyway. If you would, Mr. Edwards.
Sure. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, the resolution that we're requesting, of course, is just to, it's regarding, it's hard to explain, so I'll try to do the best I can and be as brief as I can. A code change will not allow for split precincts. And so we have precincts that are fully inside other precincts, and those are 6 of our towns. So the resolution is requesting that that we ask for this waiver in order to, I guess, bypass that requirement. The State Board of Elections are going to basically give these waivers to anyone that requests them. And so really, I guess that's really about all I can say about it. The county attorney has worked on a resolution that I guess you guys have a copy of. And so I guess I can answer any questions, or at least attempt to answer any questions that you may have regarding it.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Edwards? All right, thank you, sir. All right. The last part of the resolution, I'll read it. It says, therefore now be it resolved that the board does hereby authorize the County of Scott, Virginia Director of Election to submit a request for waiver from the State Board of Elections pursuant to Section 24.2-307 of Virginia Code to administer the split precincts currently existing in the County of Scott, Virginia for any election held in 2021. That's just a summary of what the resolution is. Hope you had a chance to look at it, and I think it's very important we do this.
So just one quick question. You know, it states there, making changes of any local election district precinct or polling place within the 60 days. So I guess 60 days is kind of the...
That's standard procedure, that you do not change any boundary lines within 60 days of any election.
Oh, so that's standard, okay.
Yeah, that's that. For any change, we wouldn't be able to make any change to any precinct boundary line within 60 days of any election.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other comments or questions? If not, we entertain a motion to approve this resolution as presented to you. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
All right, Mr. Jeter made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Tipton, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you. Hello. Next item is item 13. It's the speed limit in East Carter's Valley. I hope you got a chance to look at that and what the VDOT said about additional signs and so on. Ms. Starnes, you want to just briefly address this, and then if we need to talk about it more, we will.
Sure. I had a citizen reach out to me that lives in East Carter's Valley, and she was telling me about her concerns regarding people speeding on East Carter's Valley Road. There is a section, I believe it's 0.6 of a mile, that's a 25 mile per hour speed limit, and she was requesting 2 additional speed limit signs be placed near Bluebell Drive, 1 in each direction. So I reached out to VDOT, and that's the email that I shared with you is on your tablet. Since that is such a short length, 0.6 of a mile, they felt like, you know, if people's not paying attention to the 25 mile per hour speed limit there in that short range, they're not going to pay attention to additional signs. Those cost around $300 each, and they just didn't feel like it would be excessive to put additional signs up. Her concern, a little bit more information about that. The mailboxes, I think, are pretty close to the road along the area where she lives, and she has family that has to cross the road to get mail, and she's concerned for their safety, possibly getting hit. They have a neighbor that their fence has been hit, I think she said 4 times, where people go out of the road and hit the fence. So if it's your decision to do so, I can reach out to the sheriff's office and possibly state police headquarters and see if they could do more patrol, more radar on the state police side in that area to see if they can help get the speeding controlled more in that area. If they see a heavy police presence, maybe that will slow them down.
That's probably the best answer to it. Additional signage, if you're not paying attention to those now, they ain't gonna, 2 more signs will make a difference, I don't think either.
Yeah, she had reached out to me also, and Jackie pretty much responded back the same, pretty much what you had said. So, and I agree. I went out and drove, and the signs are there, like they said, and it's just that part of the road where, and it's kind of congested through there, and people ought to slow down, and they're just not doing that.
And we just changed that speed limit through there probably, I'm gonna say 3 or 4 years
Yeah.
ago. We did
Well,
this, have the
that was-
study done,
that
the
was-
study and.
That was on down from that a little bit.
Different area, okay.
Yeah, just, it's on the same road, but that 25 mile per hour didn't change, so that's been that way for a long time, so.
Okay.
I agree, I think more police presence there would probably help, in that area. That's kind of what you were suggesting, so.
I'll make that request and see.
If you would, I think that would probably be the answer to it.
But I just wanted to bring it to your attention that she had reached out and this was the answer that I got regarding the additional signs.
My daughter lives down in Yuma, it's 11 miles down, and the speed limit changes 5 times down through there. And if you ain't careful, it's hard to remember where you're at, and it goes 45 to 35, I don't know, it changes, and then end of reduced, what does it mean it says end of reduced speed? Does that mean it's 55?
Got these cars down there?
No, Yuma.
Oh,
But that, I don't know what that means, the end of reduced speed.
Is it a divided road? I mean, with the lines and stuff painted on it? Probably so.
But anyway, it's confusing. I would not go down through there, and you gotta be careful because it changes so many times, the speed limit does. But if you fuss about it, to put it off 35 all the way or something, that would not be a welcome sign for people driving. All right, so if you'll do that, Ms. Norris. Next item is bookkeeping, Ms. Dickers.
Please appropriate $3,000 to Sheriff's Office AFA 2020 Fall Project Lifesaver Grant transmitters 31354-8203 for reimbursement received deposited at the Treasurer's Office. Appropriate $10,061.54 to Sheriff for repair and maintenance of vehicles 31200-6009 for insurance claims received deposited. Appropriate $92,245.32 to Sheriff's vehicle replacement 3120-8001 for reimbursement received deposited, and appropriate $11,000 to CDGB Lonesome Pine Regional Industrial Development Authority Opportunity Zone Planning Grant Professional Services 81610-3100 for reimbursements received deposited at the Treasurer's Office, and that's all of the appropriations.
Okay. Do we have a motion to make the appropriation as described?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Tippett made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll say.
Mr. Herron, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Please transfer $6,315.33 from Sheriff's Office Fuel 31200-6008 to Capital Outlay Office Equipment 31200-8102, and transfer $29.12 from Victim Witness Assistance Grant Training Conferences 22156-5540 to Unemployment Insurance 22156-2600, and $162.47 from Training Conferences 22156-5540 to Office Supplies 22156-6001, and that's all the transfers.
Okay. Do we have a motion on the transfers as described?
So moved.
All right. Mr. Jeter made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Ms. Hood, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right, appointments. Ms. Taylor.
You have one opening on the tourism committee. Travis Perry is concerning. He did not reapply. We don't have any other applicants.
He's on that forever. I wonder why he didn't reapply. He's always done a good job on it too. we have any nominations for the tourism committee? I'll talk to Travis and another person I was interested too, but, and I was hoping he would reapply. So let's just take it up the next meeting. You know. All right, next item.
We have one opening on about some of our regional meetings in February. Rita Starnes has been serving, and she is willing to serve again. Bill Davis was serving as her alternate, so he would need to be appointed as an alternate.
Okay. Can we do them both in one vote? Okay. I need nomination for this, this board with, I'll not put words in your mouth, need a motion.
I'll nominate Frida Starnes, Bill Davis as an alternate.
Okay. Any other nominations?
I make a motion, nomination cease and vote by acclamation.
All right. We have a motion, nomination cease. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Ruby, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right, next item, item 16. Ms. Kagan.
Good morning. You
Good
all have
morning.
my report in your packets. I hadn't planned on having anything, but as we were sitting here and I was looking at everybody's faces, and it was good to see that we're getting back to some normalcy. I think, scratch that, we are still under the state of emergency for the state and the local emergency for COVID. I think maybe the state one will expire at the end of June. I'm not sure about that though. If I can have authority, because we have that ordinance that we're still under, if I can have authority to advertise to repeal that ordinance whenever the time comes. It may be next month, it may not be, but if I could have that so we're ready whenever that does come.
Does that bring all y'all back up here till we can all sit back where we used to sit? Hopefully. I like this. I like her to sit beside me because she can kick sometime when I get out of line. I say it all the time. She has never done that, but I like to say it, people laugh out of it. But I do miss having y'all up here. It helps me to do that, to run these meetings. So hopefully we can do it maybe in July and have you back.
Yeah. So if I can have authority as a
Okay.
board action to do whatever we need to do to come out from under that ordinance in state of emergency.
Need a motion to do that?
I'll make a
Give her the
motion.
authority. All right. Ms. Kirby made a motion. Do we have a
I'll
second?
second.
Ms. Hood, second. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. So you most certainly can. Thank you. And I was gonna mention that too when we get back. I would like everybody back up here in their normal, whatever normal is.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, Ms. Starnes, County Administrator, their claims.
Your green sheet is in your folders. Treasurer's accountability report, available cash, $5,469,145.36. We had some early claims this month. Two for Thomas Miller and Associates, that's the RIF Opportunity Zone Grant, $5,000 and a 6320. Tri-Cities Dodge, $7,298.54. That was for an engine replacement. And Waste Management, since they have merged, they now will charge us a late fee if our payment is past the first of the month, which is kind of hard to deal with the way the board meetings fall and your approval. So this time, to avoid late fees, I had them do that in an early set. So that was $44,335.11. So total early claims was $85,492.73. On regular claims that you'll be approving, some of the larger ones, CHA Consulting, that's for the landfill monitoring, $31,150.
Does
Mobile.
that ever go away?
30 years from the close.
I might
That's
not
how
be
long we
here.
have to monitor.
I may not be here in 30 years. I want to see it in my lifetime.
It is what it is.
I'm teasing.
Mobile Communications America, number 4 and number 5 billing, $45,291.54. I believe this is for the 911 conversion to next gen. And we've got Powell Valley National Bank, a payment of $53,315.32, which is a final payment on the voting machines.
Yay.
Yay. And then, a partial billment for reassessment, Wingate Appraisal Service, $33,000. And total claims, total current claims, $395,480.37, making total claims to be approved, $480,973.10.
Not too bad considering. The amount on hand here, $5,400,000, that's quite a bit above the fiscal year 2020. Is that gonna be probably the June 30th amount we're gonna have to go on next year?
We still have, some expenses that'll come out this month. We'll have a better idea at the July meeting where we ended the year.
Okay.
Because we still have June payroll plus some other expenses that we come out.
This doesn't include any COVID relief money, nothing like that,
It
does
does not.
Okay, that's what I thought, I'll make sure.
Has the school done pulled all their money?
They have.
I don't know what happened last night, I don't know if the meeting the school board had, but they're getting about another $9 million. I don't know where they're gonna spend it, but if you got that email on their agenda, it's 2 million something in one pot and 6 million something in another they're getting. But I don't know, when I saw that, I called Ms. Starnes and about that. It's on their agenda to have to talk about, I guess, to do whatever they're gonna do, but almost $9 million they're getting. So anyway, I hope they spend it wisely, and I think they will. It's a lot of money. And also, we got half of the $4,188,000, got half of that. I'm not gonna do the math, $2,090,000, whatever, that the county has received, a couple of weeks ago, that came in.
That is listed on your green sheet down toward the bottom. It's Fund 35. It's $2,094,471.50.
Yep. Anyway, a lot of money floating around, and I've not seen nothing like this. I'm on the board of directors at Clinton River Health Service, and we're getting money there. I've never seen nothing like it. One grant was $960,000 we got, and we got the grant and then applied for it later. I've never seen that happen before. So, a lot of money floating around. All right. Anything else before we vote? Any questions for Ms. Starnes on the claims? If not, entertain a motion to approve pay the bills. Do you have a motion?
Make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Tipton made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Herron, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Anything else miscellaneous?
Not that I can think of right now.
Any questions for her? All right. We got somebody here from Recreation on who it is, but I think he does a pretty good job. Dirk Krantz. I got to jerk your chain a little bit. I can't help it. I just have to do that.
Man, y'all are moving fast today. Usually you break right before I come up. But, on the rec side, I don't have a whole lot. Y'all talked about Keith Memorial Park earlier. I agree with the chairman. Park looks fantastic. The Scott service programs to be commended for that. The volunteers up there. I think they're just about complete with that project up there. So it does look great. I also want to thank Matt Bright, Chris Harmon with the IT department. They've been having some vandalism issues up there, some minor things, nothing real crazy, but they recently installed some security cameras. So hopefully everybody knows about that, and now that keeps that issue down. So Duffield Community Park, really nothing new there to add. I am very excited. I think Ms. Kegley talked about return to normalcy. We get to return to our summer programming for rec. I know I'm extremely excited about that. I know the kids and the parents I've talked to are extremely excited. We do a summer tennis clinic. It's every Tuesday and Thursday for about 5 weeks down in Weber City. And then we do a junior golf clinic up there at the golf course. It's every Wednesday for about 5 weeks. And, you don't realize how much you miss it till it's gone. So we are very excited to get back to that. And that's really all I've got on the rec side. Obviously last year, everything got pretty much canceled. So like I said, excited to get back to normal there. Dropping down the golf course, still got some, in my opinion, some really good news. I know the last few times I've been talking to you all, we've had some pretty significant revenue increases. Now to put that in context though, that was comparing it to last year. which the coronavirus early on affected things slowly, and then at the very end, we kind of really started picking up a lot. I thought we had a good momentum heading into this year. So this is incredible. We're at a 145% revenue increase over this time last year. Now, like I said, that does take into account some of the stuff that got slowed down because of coronavirus, but still seeing a huge increase in daily play, increase in memberships. I was there yesterday, and just a guy joined there just while I was sitting there. So, but to compare this, in my opinion, this might be a better comparison to compare that number to a non-coronavirus year, not to skew our numbers. If we finish this June, like I think we will, this will be the highest fiscal year revenue we've had since 2013, 2014. So that's a good thing. I think last year the coronavirus, there was people that came back there that hadn't been there in a while, maybe a lot of new people, and I think we did a really good job of retaining those people, of keeping the course in good shape. I think we've kind of grabbed that momentum and ran with it. So I want to keep trying to do that, but that's great news there. I think our revenue's way up. We've had a tremendous start already to our tournament season. We've had a Ryco Golf Booster Tournament. We just finished our 30th annual 3-Ball Memorial Golf Tournament. That's been going on for a long time. And I just want to mention about that one. That one is held in memory of the people that actually established Scott County Park and Golf Course, and also a lot of our longtime members that passed away. We always honor them and mention them in that tournament, so that's a big one for us. We've got people that we don't see, but once a year they come in just for that tournament. They've been playing for 20, 30 years. So upcoming, we have the Big Blue Boosters Tournament, which of course that's for the Gate City High School boosters, Twin Springs Football Tournament, and a Ryco Football Golf Tournament. I just want to mention those. We always appreciate having those groups up there. That money goes back to the kids and the communities and sports. So we love being a part of that. They're always good patrons of the golf course. We try to be good hosts, but that's something we've always done, try to help them out as much as they can. It helps us out, but it helps them out too. So last but not least, there is a wooden overlook. I don't know if you're ever up there. It's been looking worse for wear. I do have the materials purchased to repair that. That's one of them deals, just kind of wait and make sure nothing tore up at the end of the year. When it did, and I was able to get the lumber. It was kind of, not the best time to buy lumber for an overlook, but it wasn't that bad though. We have some friends at Lowe's that help us out, that have, helped us out, give us a little discount there to help us with stuff. So got those materials purchased, so hopefully here in the next week or two we'll get that overlook redone. So, but other than that, really the big thing is the revenue increase. Like I said, the 145% is great. That is a little skewed because of last year's issues. So I think the better way is to compare it to that. Going back saying, hey, that's the highest since about 7-8 years. So that's probably a better comparison. So that's really about all I have. If y'all have any questions, I'll answer them.
Any comments or questions?
Good report.
Thank you. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Oh, and I want to mention, sorry, a lot of that, we get a lot of comments from, we've got our regulars up there always tell us how good it looks and stuff, but I've had a lot of people that, what I would call regulars, tell us how great the course looks. People making comments like it looks better than it ever has. Obviously, I want to acknowledge the staff, Brad, and the guys that work under him. But I want to thank you all. I think part of that is some of the equipment. The last couple of years we were able to buy it was new to us, but a used John Deere sprayer that was a huge upgrade. I think that's made a huge difference in the ease and accuracy of our chemical applications, and that's made a difference in the course. And then also, maybe the biggest one, a few years ago, we switched to a different style of fairway mower, and you keep hearing people say, oh man, the fairways look better than they ever have, and yeah, we're working hard on them, but the right tool for the job makes all the difference. And I think right now we've got some good tools in place, so I appreciate you all supporting us. Thank you. Thank you.
One thing I said about keeping Memorial Park, I plugged them a little bit, but also, they do a great job up there too. If you get a chance to go by and look at it.
Yeah.
It looks good.
It does. It was fantastic. Thank you all.
All right.
Thank you.
Moving right along.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
can I approach?
you may.
Sorry to interrupt.
Sorry.
One thing I did want to mention, again, I guess got ahead of myself. On May the 7th, we had one of our board members, long-serving board members, Dennis Culberson, passed away. Again, Dennis will be greatly missed. He was a great asset to our office and elections process as a whole. Served since 2008 again on the electoral board for Scott County, and had served many, many years prior to that as an election official. His replacement has not been named unless it happened today. But again, I did want to at least step up and say thank you to him and his family for what they've sacrificed, time and effort for very, very little pay, very little pat on the backs. You know, we've been, don't want to jinx myself, us having successful elections, but Dennis was a great part of that, and had been there actually just prior to my coming on board. He was appointed to the board and it served very well, and again, just going to miss him and his guidance and leadership. So just wanted to say that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dennis was a member of our church, and we really miss him. He was teaching classes there. In 1976, I bought my first house from him. It had wheels on it, but we lived in it. Moved to Trotter to Dungannon, and it was. I bought Dennis Culberson, but I've known him most of my adult life, and known him forever. But he'll be sorely missed. I know people on that board will miss him, and when it comes to elections, you're really going to miss him because he done a wonderful job. He did.
I have one thing for miscellaneous before we
Okay.
go on. I need authorization to advertise for a public hearing for an ordinance for the data center tax that we did the MOU for a couple months ago
Okay.
for the RIFA counties.
I need a motion to authorize her to do that. Do we have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Tiffany made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Darrell second. All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Is that it? We've got comments. I'll get you first. You have any comments before you leave?
Oh, no, sir.
We'll start with you first to give you a chance to go.
We do have closed session.
We do have closed session, yeah.
Yeah, I missed that.
All right.
Just thank the staff for everything. Again, I can't ever really say that enough. Always appreciate everybody. Appreciate all the board members.
All right. Thank you for coming. Ms. Hood, do you have anything?
I echo what Ms. Creeby says. Appreciate everybody. And I've had a pretty quiet month. So I don't have anything to add.
She's president of the board at Aptica, and she does a good job. Are you going to do another term?
I'm thinking probably.
She's done a good job. The reason I say that, she has been through a lot. Gone through a lot of stuff there, so I'm on that board too, and she has done well.
Well, I feel like since we have a new executive director, that I was very involved in,
And you
you
were.
know, I feel like I might do it again.
We're encouraging her, the board is, so she has done a good job with it. I did it, and I couldn't even pack her lunch, and she done 10 times better job than I could have ever thought about doing, so. Anyway, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all.
Mr. Jeter, you have anything?
So I'd just like to thank the board and the board of supervisors and the staff, all the workers for Scott County for the job they do. They're doing an excellent job, and I'm glad we are about to get the budget through for another year. Wish we had a little more money, but
Yeah.
that's life. Just thanks to everybody for the job you do.
Okay. Mr. Tipton?
Just a quick question for Bill on the solid waste centers for the Packer trucks. So what's our situation now?
Our situation, as of this weekend, we're down to one truck.
Okay.
Now, that's why you might have seen a couple of sites closed yesterday. But the same truck did both routes, and we're able to get it off. All of them are in the shop getting fixed, but it's just gremlins seem to tire up something else as soon as we get it fixed.
I seen one sitting on top of Corn Ridge.
Yeah, it overheated. That was the one that, we had two going, and it went out on Friday. And we had to take it to the shop.
I had a question about those, about how they wash those trucks. They said that's pretty dirty, and I didn't know if they have a.
They have a steam genie, and they wash them as often as they can, but you know, at least weekly. I hope that people have seen them looking better here of late. And you know, our transfer station's on the gravel road.
Right.
So it doesn't take too many trips up that gravel road
Yeah.
to get dusty.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I want to echo what Mr. Kirby said as well. Thank the staff and for all they do to make us look good. And appreciate the county's involvement, getting involved with the work orders and, with VDOT and things like that, which is a great help. That'll help the VDOT situation. They're trying to digitally streamline and so forth, so that way they'll get to them faster. And so let's just, all of us, echo a prayer continuing for Mike Rickey is not with us today. And then I want to mention John Kilgore's name too as well. And then my little grandson, Avery, has been in the hospital since the 13th. And so let's remember him in prayer. That's all I have.
Mr. Herron?
Appreciate what everybody's doing. Here the last week or so, we had a bear sighting in Nicholsville. I think that was all.
Darrell, was it?
That was all over Facebook. But I got to thinking, I come through Weber City the other day, and if y'all notice, there's where the picnic tables are. There's been what I'm gonna say a bear. It looks like a bear. I've seen that before, where they'll get in trash cans and they start carrying it up the ridge or the mountain. They make a path. That's going on over there. The number of bears are increasing, or at least the sightings anyway. That might be something we may need to look into if we, especially there at our parks, anything that the county has anything to do with, that we may need to start having those bear-proof trash cans or whatever. I don't know what those cost, but
They're expensive.
They are.
We do have them at the new Stony Creek.
Okay.
Park. Yeah, there's two.
That's something that's gonna, it's not only just the site, that especially down there, that bar is coming right there next to the 4-lane. It's sort of a danger, for that, somebody hitting it or something. But anyway, that's just something we may need to look into in the future. Start, maybe not do all of them, but picking out like that one. I noticed there's trash 100 feet up in the ridge, or up on the mountain there where they carried it up in there. But anyway,
They're probably the town at Gate City.
I don't know who keeps the. It's our.
I don't know where the line's at.
It's never picked up very often. I notice that trash can's full about every time you're by there. I don't know who's responsible for it, whether it's Weber City or City.
But anyway, that's in the Scott program, maybe they can have some impact there. I don't know, but anyway, that's just something I've noticed. And I'm going to say that's going to continue being more of a problem throughout the county. That's just the start of it, I'd say. Appreciate what everybody's doing, but glad to see things getting back to normal. It's still a lot of sickness and grief because of the coronavirus, but we'll make it.
Thanks, sir. One thing I want to say, I do thank the staff for what y'all do here. We got a problem with our tax collections, and I don't know how to deal with this. The second notices were not sent out, the delinquent tax notices. Should have sent out in February. Our hands are tied as far as advertising anything about delinquent taxpayers. I wished our treasurer would have sent those notices out. It didn't happen. I may get in contact with John Rife and see what we can do to try to get this done. I don't know. I never thought we'd ever see something like this where we can't do collection because of tax tickets not being sent out. We can't even advertise it in the paper that the people's delinquent on their taxes. But anyway, you think that can happen, and it's going to tie our hands for trying to do collections. Pretty upset about it, so nothing to do.
Is she not gonna send them out at
No.
all?
They'll probably be sent out. It'll be late July. She is going to work on it.
Well, we transferred money out of that line item
Well,
for
it'll be
her.
in the new budget year.
The new budget year.
expense.
Well, I don't know.
Isn't there a deadline? Isn't it supposed to be done like by May or something? The second notice?
I'm not sure that it specifies.
I don't think it does.
There's no specification?
They're gonna be right on, the new tax bill will be right on the heels of that, because
Yeah.
they start working on those in August. But I did speak to her, and they're gonna work on those.
Why would they not send out a second tax notice? That's, I don't get it.
When do we usually send them out?
February.
February. Do we know why they wasn't? It's up to her, I guess.
The girl that does is on maternity leave, and that's sort of a HIPAA thing. You shouldn't tell why people's off from work, that's what she said, and but Megan is the girl, so she threw it out there. I don't think you should even be able to say why people are not working, but she did.
So the treasurer don't know how to send out.
I ain't going there. I'm not gonna go there. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's not really a valid excuse. I mean, they should be able to pick up the slack and take care of that.
Well, I said this, if we had known that this wasn't gonna happen, because we could have done something maybe here that got her some help. We're talking about tax collections, and that's what that job is.
Exactly.
And sending a tax ticket out is, I asked the previous treasurer how hard it is, and he said it's time consuming, it's not hard. You simply create a file, you set the delinquent, you click on it, move to the file, and send it to the printer. He said it does take time.
I mean, that hurts our tax-paying citizens in more than one way. They don't get the notices, and then therefore they become delinquent in their taxes. I mean, that's what this whole issue's about.
Well, same thing happened in 2012 when the DMV stopped happening. And she said she didn't have enough people to do it. The other treasurers did. And then in 2016, we finally gave her an employee, and she didn't do it until 2018, still 2 more years before it happened.
I always maintain.
And the thing about it is, those things roll off after 5 years. So we lost money can never be gotten back because they roll off after 5 years. And so we went through all of that. We beat that to death right here in these board meetings trying to get this done. And so I don't know. It's for the part of the job of being a treasurer, you send out tax tickets. What more important can it be to do that? And for it not to be done, and it just, I don't know. And if you say something, you're being political. She said it right here, that we're being political because we want her to do her job.
So I mean, she's been political and not sending out the notices.
Well, 10 years almost she's been there, and you would think that these things just automatic as breathing. That a treasurer sends out tax tickets. That's what you do.
That's what
What more important job is there than send out a tax ticket? So I don't know. Again, I'm not being political. I'm another 2.5 years of that stuff going on. We cannot operate here as a county. If that money is not collected, we cannot operate if it's not done. It's simple as that. So anyway, enough said. Anything else? We do have a closed session. And again, thank y'all for all of you, for Bill, all of you, Amy, all of y'all do a great job with this, and I appreciate what you do. We do have a couple items of closed session, and
I've got one thing, Danny, before we go on.
Pardon?
I've got one thing before we go on. I mentioned the VDOT, I guess last meeting, or meeting before last one, about dust on the roads. Does anybody know if they've been putting anything on the gravel roads?
They have some, but I've been on yesterday.
Yeah, I noticed one in Nicholsville, they had there.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Both items in closed session.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Talking about VDOT, sorry. Can I say
Sorry.
one more thing? There's and I've mentioned it several times on Little Duck Road, there's a real bad dip. It's almost to the county line in Russell County. I've turned it in. I've been told that some of the citizens have turned it in. And as far as I know, unless it's been fixed the last couple of weeks, it's still not been fixed, and it's been over 1.5 years. And it is bad, and it needs to be fixed. And if it can't be fixed, just let us know why. Because we don't want to beat a dead horse if they can't fix it. Okay, just.
Did you say it was a dip?
Yeah, there's a culvert. I've actually took a picture of it, and I can give you the address of where it's at. But I'll have to look it up. The culvert is either collapsed or sunk or something. It looks like they've had problems there before because they've repaved over it, but it's done the exact same thing. But it is bad, and you hit it, and it's a danger. It could throw you off the road. That's how bad it is. And I've even forgot about it, and I've hit it in my truck. Of course, I've got a ton truck. It's pretty stiff anyway, and it my head hits the ceiling, if I forget about it. But there's, there's some other issues. I know our roads are one of the biggest things in the county, that we have complaints about. I just wish it, when we do turn those in, if they can't fix them, we just need something to tell the people, because they just keep asking and asking. And, of course, I know they want us to use their online thing, to send that. And that's fine. That's what I've been telling people, to go on there, and then, I would contact them too. But anyway, that one is a major concern because it's been so long and nothing's been done. There's not even a sign, If they can't do anything, they need to put a sign up or something telling people that's there.
Send me the address.
I will. I'll have to look. It's in my pictures. I'll let you know. Sorry.
All right.
Thank you.
The main way I get them fixed is I just call them and tell them to meet me at my house. We're gonna make a ride. And I'll take them around and show them.
Yeah.
And they mark it in the road with orange paint. This is the way I get stuff done.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's what we need to do.
That's just a suggestion.
Yeah.
I have Jackie down there every so often, and 2 or 3 of his buddies, and we get in his vehicle and ride around, and I show him what needs to be done, and usually they do pretty good on it, but that's the only way I've got anything done.
Yeah.
All right. All right, we have 2 items to go into closed session for. I need a motion and a second.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Tiffany made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Mr. Jeter, second. This board hereby enters into closed session pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711, A.3 real estate, and A.5 prospective industry. All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. So we'll go back here. Y'all want to wait? It won't be too long, so we'll go closed session.